social media platforms may soon be required by the government to put warning labels about the detriment to your mental health.
We need to have a lot more awareness about the detriment to our kids' mental health with social media.
Welcome to the Mental Health Janitors, where we help you clean up the mess in your head. I'm Sergeant Q, and with me today, my beautiful wife, Holly.
Hey, everybody.
So, Holly, we found that there is this House Bill 4750 that is going to be proposed in the state of Illinois. And there are several other states doing this as well. Colorado is one of them that I read about, and I think Michigan and California. So what did you find out about?
So when I was doing the research on this, I was actually getting really excited because they want to start putting a lot more restrictions on social media for youth, as far as warning labels, pop-ups every 30 minutes for some of these kids that are going to be on there, showing them their use, showing them how long they've been on the platform. They're even going so far as to require written parental consent for anybody under the age of 13 to be on the platform. And so for me, that's really exciting. I think that we need to have a lot more awareness about the detriment to our kids' mental health with social media.
So there's a laundry list of mental health conditions that they talk about being the reason why these warning labels should be posted. And so I'm just going to give you a list. Here's a list of mental health conditions that are directly correlated to social media use. Increased anxiety, depressive symptoms, low self-esteem, body image dissatisfaction, social comparison stress, FOMO, fear of missing out. Here are some cognitive behavioral risks: attention fragmentation, reduced impulse control, sleep disruption, dopamine-driven reward loops, habitual or compulsive use patterns. Now, here are the youth-specific concerns. Now, these are direct correlations, not necessarily causations. Higher rates of reported sadness in teenagers, increased vulnerability to cyberbullying, identifying formations influenced by algorithmic dopamine feedback, and emotional regulation challenges during development. Now, it's important to preface this by saying these are a correlation, not a causation. They have not been able to directly say that this is the cause, but there's a correlation between all of these risk factors that I just listed and the use of social media. In my book that I wrote years ago, I wrote this book 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago, I wrote a book called Healing Through Service, The Warrior's Guidebook to Overcoming Trauma. And in it, I wrote about social media and its effects because I saw it back then, before they did studies, before they really looked at this. I wrote about this happening because I understood dopamine and how dopamine drives us to do the next thing and do the next thing and do the next thing. It's great. It's what helps us be productive during the day. But you can also get dopamine through your phone. And so when you're getting dopamine through scrolling through your phone, your brain doesn't seek dopamine reward through completing tasks. So you fall behind, which leads to all these other conditions. Feeling bad about yourself, low self-esteem, comparing yourself to other people who are more successful. And I saw this happening. But here's one of the most striking things that I remember from my time of my research: cyberbullying. There was a case in California, one of the first cases out there, where social media bullying led to a suicide. It's a young girl, about 12 years old. When I was a kid and I was 12 years old, you'd go to school and there'd be a bully. They would bully you for a few hours, for a few classes, and then you went home and the bully was gone. And you'd only have to face them a few hours a day. But on the weekends, they weren't there. In other periods, they weren't there. And so you got through it. With social media, the bully never leaves. They're always in your pocket, posting on your wall, posting things about you. The bully is 24/7 in your pocket. And that's what led this young girl to ending her life, cyberbullying, because the bully never left and there was no way to fight back against the bully. So I saw these things happening almost a decade ago. And here they are, research backed, and now laws being proposed to prevent it.
Well, and it's interesting that you bring up cyberbullying with this, because I think that cyberbullying is going to take on a whole new form, because now you have AI. And with AI, I can create images of you that never happened. I can create video of you doing something you never did and put that out there for the world to see. And there's nothing stopping me from doing that. And then you have to go and say, no, that's not me. And everyone around you is going, but I saw you. I saw the video of you doing this thing, or I saw the video of you with this person. And that's going to take things to a whole other level. When you talk about bullying on the internet, it's all these what do you call them? Keyboard cowboys.
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
Okay. Because they can post anonymously. So you're seeing a rise in bullies that wouldn't have the nerve to be an in-person bully. And that's what I think has really ramped up this epidemic of cyberbullying. Because I can sit here, put up a fake name, and do anything I want, say anything I want, and there's zero consequences. And that's the difference between back then. Because I know you. So I know that 12-year-old you went to school, got bullied. Maybe you put up with that for a couple days, but then I guarantee you fought back. And that bully had to reevaluate his life choices of, do I want to keep bullying this person that's going to punch me in the mouth or not? So they no longer have that, right? They didn't have consequences. And that's just changed the game.
Yep. And I remember it too. I remember the two kids used to bully me, Keegan and Shiloh. And if you guys are watching, sue me, bro, because I'm about to tell the story. And I just might punch you in the mouth again.
Okay.
These two kids used to bully me all the time, Keegan and Shiloh. And I remember I just had enough of it one day. And Shiloh was running his mouth. And so I just lumped him up. Socked him about 4 or 5 times before he even realized what happened. I had him on the ground and just continued to pound this kid into the ground. The next day, Keegan. Same thing. But this kid took a little far. And I remember I had him down on the ground. And he was rolling over to try and get back up. And I had his face on the ground. And I'm just using his face as a rototiller. And I'm just driving it into the gravel there. And just socking him and driving his face into the gravel. But that's what happened. These two kids picked on me relentlessly on the bus for a good month. And I just had enough one day. Lumped up the first one, and then lumped up the second one. And guess what? Them two dudes never said a word to me after that. And everybody realized that I was not the kid to be messing with. And I write about this in my book. Not about those two, but a different bully that I faced. The first bully I ever faced, El Gordo, the fat kid. And lumping him up at the bus stop. Like, that's how you dealt with bullies when I was a kid. You run your mouth. You know, we used to say it. Talk shit, get hit. That's exactly what would happen. But nowadays, people have this invisible wall, this digital wall between you and them, where they can run their mouth all they want and there's no direct consequence. So it was a lot more of a polite society back then because you knew there were direct consequences to running your mouth. Direct consequences. And that doesn't exist today because of the internet, because of social media. Most of these people, you're never going to see because they're different states, sometimes different countries. You're never going to see these people. So they can say whatever they want and get away with it.
Well, it's interesting. I feel kind of like the script has flipped on bullying, because you're saying these things and I'm cringing on the inside. You know, you said the fat kid. And I'm like, oh, they're going to eat us alive on social media for saying fat. But so it's like, it's flipped. I now have this internal cringe and caution, and I have to pick my words. What can I say? Otherwise, the trolls are going to come out and get me, right? no matter what you say on social media.
Yeah, that's why
Always.
that's why I don't carry. That's exactly why I don't carry.
I know you don't care, but I run your brand and I protect your brand.
And I was like, say, hey man, you run your mouth all you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I know that most of these people are scared little chicken hearts. And they would never, ever say anything like that to anyone in person, let alone me.
Mm-hmm.
They would just never do it.
I'm actually surprised at the amount of people that do continue to make poor life choices by bullying or by road rage incidents, right?
Same thing.
Somebody, I'll have to look into this, but there was just a road rage incident where a mother got shot, a 6-month-old got shot.
This was in Las Vegas.
Was it Vegas?
Yeah, it was in Las Vegas.
Yeah. It says, do you know about the story?
I do know the story. Yep. There's a road rage incident. Somebody cut somebody off. Some words were exchanged. And then they followed that person, shot at the car, ended up killing their kid in the car. Outrageous over getting cut off on the freeway. But part of the problem is that people have learned they can get away with that bad behavior online. And so their ACC, their anterior cingulate cortex, does not kick in and say, hey, that's over the line. We shouldn't be doing that. And then they have this really bad behavior. And I guarantee you, if you talk to that person, pull that trigger, they completely regret it. They're probably going to say like, hey, I was not in my right mind. I completely regret that. And it's totally not what I wanted to happen.
Well, that just happened with the gal that attempted to run over the ICE agent.
100%. Like, exact same thing.
It's like, why did I tell her to go? Why was I yelling at her to drive? And that's because you're right. That bad behavior doesn't get checked. That there is no line anymore. Right?
That's exactly right. When I was a kid and you do something to get out of line, somebody'd lump you up and you realize like, okay, maybe I don't want to run my mouth. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't take things that don't belong to me.
Yeah.
A thief, when I was a kid, stole something from somebody, man, you got a beating.
Sure.
You probably got a beating from whoever you stole it from. Then you go to the principal's office and corporal punishment was still kind of a thing back in the 70s and early 80s. And then when you got home, your parents would then blister your tail. So when I was a kid, like you didn't want to be a thief or a liar. Like them two things were going to get you beat every way from Sunday. There were direct consequences to that behavior. And I'm not saying that was good, but I'm saying that it worked. And now we've gone so far to the other side where there aren't direct consequences anymore for your actions. And that has led us to a society where we are now, where people think that it's okay to riot in the streets, where people think it's okay, because they've been so emboldened on social media and getting away with it, to go and take over a whole city block in downtown Seattle, take over a whole police department. And the government at the time, and the governor and the mayor and the police chief, all three of them are such cowards. Yes, all three of you are such cowards to prevent any of that from happening. And they knew they were wrong. And so they deleted all of those messages on their phones during that time because they knew what cowards they were. And they knew accountability was coming. And guess what? Accountability just hit them to the tune of $13 million.
Yeah, but who has to pay that?
We do. Taxpayers. And none of those people, those three people, none of them are going to be held accountable. None of them are going to get in any trouble. None of them are going to face lawsuits. The mayor, the governor, and the police chief at the time, all three should be up on charges. $13 million is what the city of Seattle just had to pay to a family. There were two kids riding around in a stolen car, doing wrong. Kids were doing wrong, okay? Riding around in a stolen car. They're up there at the Chop Chaz area that had been completely taken over by anarchists, and all the government officials told the police to stand down and do nothing. Kid gets shot. Emergency services could not get to that kid to provide life-saving aid because the city government were such pathetic cowards. Pathetic cowards that they allowed that to happen. So EMS couldn't get there and the kid died. $13 million is what that family was just awarded this week because of cowards. And now there's a second lawsuit that just hit the books today on the kid who was riding around with that other kid who got shot and survived, but ended up with life-altering wounds. Seizures, blind in one eye, all of these things. Now, again, these kids were not doing the right thing. They were criminals. They were doing things wrong. But the government still has a responsibility to the citizen, whether they're a criminal or not, to provide emergency services to them. And because the mayor, the governor, and the police chief were cowards, they prevented life-saving aid to be brought to these two kids. And that's the kind of worthless behavior that we see out there today. And all of that goes back to, in my opinion, social media. That's the breeding ground of all of this bad behavior that we're seeing because they can get away with it on social media. And so they then try and get away with it in real life. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Over the last 5 or 6 years, they've been getting away with it. But this new administration has put a stop to it. And people are feeling the consequences now.
Okay, so tell me, do you think that the warning labels are going to be enough? Are they even going to do anything?
That's a great question. So, no. I think it is just, it's one or two things. Good idea or execution, or they're just trying to do some political grandstanding. At this point, I can't really tell which, but it doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to end up with the same result. It's going to change nothing. And they're probably going to lose in federal court because there's already case law that's been established. So we look at the tobacco industry.
Yeah.
Now, when you buy cigarettes here in America, it has a tiny little text warning label, may cause cancer, right? And that's on kind of everything. Like you go to McDonald's. I'm not kidding you. Go to McDonald's in California, and they have a law that says you have to put a warning label on it.
Well, to be fair, California puts a warning label on everything.
I know. I'm just saying, so they can get away. So case law has been established to put warning labels on it.
Yeah.
And the reason they get away with it is because these companies know that it won't change behavior.
Okay.
Because when you put a warning label on it, say, may cause cancer. The brain doesn't register that as a real threat. So it never kicks in the amygdala, which is your self-preservation, to change your action. So it's like, warning label, sometime in the future, I'm not going to worry about it. This is how the brain operates. Doesn't take it as a serious threat. Now, in other countries, they don't have the same laws we do. We have the freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Now, that's important. Remember that. We're going to come back to it. The freedom of speech and the freedom of expression is designed for you and me to be able to say whatever we want about political discourse. That's what it was designed for. In other countries, they force tobacco companies to put not just warning labels, but pictures of real people who've had to have face transplants, their voice box removed, black lungs, surgeries from cancer caused by these cigarette companies and their product. That's not the case here in America. In America, they fought against that. Because here's what happens in the brain. They know this. These guys spend billions of dollars on marketing. They understand how the brain works, and they're manipulating you. Those cigarette packs that have those photos of real people with real conditions, that does activate the amygdala. And it says that could happen to me. It happens on a subconscious level. It says, that is dangerous, and I'm going to change my behavior. They've watched the rate of purchasing cigarettes dramatically reduce when they start putting those photos on. And people who want to quit a lot easier because of that negative bias that happens when they see those images.
Interesting.
Tobacco knows that. And so they fought vehemently here in America to prevent that from happening. And they used our freedom of speech and expression to fight against it. Now, this freedom was not designed for corporations. It was designed for you and me, for political discourse against our government. But they have so much money that they were able to argue in federal court that putting those images on their packaging was a violation of their free speech and expression.
What?
Whose free speech are we limiting? A corporation? A corporation is not an entity.
Mm-hmm.
And so they used our First Amendment right to argue that a corporation has the same rights as an individual, you and I, which is a whole nother dangerous case law precedent set. So I tell you all of that. You have to know all of the history to understand that putting a pop-up warning label on social media will do zero. It will do absolutely 100% nothing burger. And if they want to put warning labels up that show people who've committed suicide, people with body dysmorphia, people with these psychological illnesses because of social media, they will lose. Because case law has already been established by big tobacco. So as good of an idea I think it is, it's not going to be able to be executed.
Yeah. I remember being in these foreign countries and seeing those cigarette packets with the pictures on them and thinking, oh, right? Like, I don't want to carry that around in my pocket. I wouldn't want to I'm not a smoker anyway, but it's interesting that in a foreign country, that's what they do. That the government says, nope, this is a dangerous product. We're mandating that you do this. We don't care about what you want. Here in the US, we find stuff that's dangerous and the government taxes it.
Yeah. They turn it into revenue. And it was really originally called the sin tax, right? Like that's originally
No.
Yeah, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, all these taxes they put on it because they figure, okay, so if we increase, number one, well, we can get money because the government is money hungry.
Oh, yeah.
They're pathetic, money hungry trolls. And they will tax everything. So, people really like alcohol. Let's put a tax on it. Oh, people like cigarettes. Let's put a tax on it. So they generate revenue, and they say it's to slow down people from using the product. That's how they say it, right? It's for your safety that we're going to charge extra taxes on this product because it's going to reduce the amount of people who use it. If that's what they really wanted to do, then they could do it with the proper warning labels. But they won't because they know it's a revenue driver. So the government and these corporations are literally in cahoots against you and me. They're in cahoots against you and me. And if you can't see that, man, you need to wake up because the government and corporations are working against you because they know what the problem is. They know how to solve it. And instead of solving it, they're going to create a different solution that enriches both sides against you. You don't have to believe me. You can look this stuff up for yourself. Don't be lazy. Don't look it up. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see the case law. You'll see the research behind it. And you'll see how the government and corporations are literally working against you. And so if you think that the government is going to force social media to do something that's going to damage their business, you're 100% out of your mind. They're working together to drive revenue.
Okay, so what would your solution be for social media?
My solution for social media, personal responsibility. That's it. Personal responsibility and accountability.
So hold on. Are you saying that parents should actually parent their kids?
That's where I'm getting to. But here's the thing. Parents out there, your first thing is like, I'm going to put these guardrails in place. I'm not going to let my kids have social media. They're not going to have a phone. I'm not going to let them do this. I'm not going to let them do that as they're scrolling on their phone for 15 hours a day, right? It's just like the parents who are alcoholics who tell their kids, you're never going to have a drink. Don't do what I do. It's never going to work. They're watching you do this bad behavior for 20 years. And you think that they're not going to do it? No, you have to emulate the behavior that you want them to have. You have to do it first. You're the leader of your family. So you have to set the example. It's no more of this, do as I say, not as I do. That's a cop-out. That's weak. You do that and you're no better than the mayor The police chief and the governor. Weak cowardice. You have to take personal responsibility and be accountable first. And then you can set the precedence for your kids, for your family, for your friends. That's how it is done. It's not by protesting and posting on social media and pontificating about the worries. You have to put things in place. I talk about mental health all the time. I talk about having a morning routine. I've done the research and I do it every day. I couldn't teach on it. I couldn't hold other people accountable if I wasn't doing it myself. And that's the problem that most people have. They see it's a problem. They want somebody else to fix it. Somebody else. You know what you should do is you should do this. People do this to the church all the time. Well, the church should be doing this. The church should be doing that. They're not part of a church. And if they were, they're probably not donating money to the tithe. So the church can do those things. But they want to tell the church what to do with their money. The same problem. People always want to look out and tell other people what to do instead of looking inside and saying, this is what I need to do. The Bible talks about this. They say, take the log out of your own eye before you take the speck out of your brother's eye. What they're talking about is worry less about what other people are doing and focus on what you should do.
Okay. So what is the one actionable item that people can do today to improve the mental health of their kids that are on social media?
Set the example. So dinner time, no phones. You included. You have blackout hours where you're not on media, social media, Netflix, Xbox. Very simple. It could just be 2 hours a night. Half an hour before dinner, the hour during dinner, half hour after. Those 2 hours, 120 minutes of just having conversations, playing board games, reading books, drawing, something interactive with your family. 2 hours, man. That's not a lot of time. Start there. Start with 2 hours. And if you can't do 2 hours, man, there's something more that you're going to have to deal with. I'd say get into some counseling, get into some family counseling, some therapy to figure out why you can't do 2 hours of talking and interacting with your family. That is a huge dysfunction. And if this is striking a nerve, good. Go get help. I've had to do it. We've had to do it. Our marriage is great. We go do marriage counseling. Not because we're in crisis, because we don't want to be.
Right.
So we want to fix things before they get bad. So if you're driving in your car and you hear a little tick, 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 what is that? I don't know. It's going to ignore it. Then you blow your motor. If you paid attention, you can go get it serviced, get it fixed, and keep on rolling.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say. The one thing you can do right now today, set 2 hours around dinner time, 30 minutes before, and then during dinner, and then like 30 minutes after. So you've got 2 hours that you're just talking and interacting with your family. And you do this every single day. Do it every day for 30 days. And then send me a message and tell me that it didn't work. I guarantee you won't be able to do it. That's my challenge. I guarantee if you do this every day for 30 days, that you will not be able to message me and tell me it didn't work. And if you can, I'd love to have you on the show and we'll unpack it and we'll figure out another solution for you. But I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be able to do it. All right. We like to do 3 things here on the Mental Health Janitors. We like to educate you, empower you, and encourage you. So we've educated you about the dangers of social media and just empowered you with a simple tool if you use it. And I'm going to encourage you to take the next step. Start investing in your own mental health. It's very simple. Sign up for our Evolve Mental Health Program. It's very easy. There are links inside of the description. Every single Thursday, I do a free mental health course. 20 minutes. Come get tuned up, learn about the brain-body connection, interact with other people that are on the same journey as you. For the Mental Health Janitors, I'm Sergeant Q.
And I'm Mrs. Q.
And we're out.